What is going on, everyone? Happy Friday. Welcome to Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony, and today's Friday, and you know what that means. It's the Q&A. This is Paco sitting on my lap. Sorry, my back went out on Monday. For those of you who know, I have a really jacked up back, and it went out as bad as it could go out on Monday. It's now Friday, and it's been just a nightmare, man. I went to urgent care on Tuesday or Wednesday, gave me a couple shots in the back, but steroid shots, but and my I just stuff like that. And I'm walking with my cane. This is Kane. I don't know where Abel is, but hey, so we're gonna try to get through this. Today I'm wearing my DeMarco mint dial. I found a blue strap I like on it. It's funny, some of my viewers said you'll never wear it. I've worn it every single day this week. So anyway, you guys, it's the Q&A, and if you don't know what the Q&A is, every Friday we do a Q&A. So if you want to participate in the Q&A, all you got to do is leave your question in the comments below, and it'll be featured on one of my Q&As, most likely the following one. So let's roll the intro and we'll get into it. Talking Timepieces with Tony, now rolling.
You're talking timepieces with Tony. You're talking timepieces with Tony.
Okay, we're gonna try to get through this. And I appreciate all you guys who like and subscribe. Pretty stoked. I had this whole 2024 578,000 views or something like that. It's kind of a lot, you know, so I was pretty stoked. So appreciate you guys who continue to watch and all that good stuff. So let's get the first question. This comes from Elon _101. Hello from Watchville, Tennessee, Tony. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Couple of questions for Friday Q&A. What's most likely to be your first watch to buy in 2025? And you mentioned a few times that you can't read the time on your Panda. Is it because of the white dial or the watch design? Did you have the same problem with the black dial? I appreciate you, brother. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks, man. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I met you in Nashville, Fink's Jewelers, right? Yeah, awesome, man. My first watch of 2025, I don't know yet. I'm just kind of still looking, you know what I mean? And that's, yeah, I just don't know. I'm kind of just, you know, I was almost gonna get a Breguet Type 20 today, but anyway, I'm just gonna leave it there. But I didn't. So, all right. And you mentioned a few times that you can't read the time on your Panda. Is it because of the white dial or the watch design? It's not the white dial. I mean, the white dial, you know, it's not so bad. It's the hands of the watch. The way the hands blend in with the dial and the subdials, it's not legible. It's not readable. And I don't think it's the design of the watch. I think it's the design of the hands, because Zenith make the Chronomaster Sport very similar aesthetics, and you can read that fine. But the way that they have the hands done on it, it's super legible. So, you know, something that I don't know if Rolex will ever fix or whatever, but let's see. Yeah. So, and Merry Christmas, man. I appreciate your question. Thank you. Take care. This next one comes from David Parrish Productions. You asked me two questions, and the first one I didn't print out. I don't know why it didn't print, but it didn't. You asked me what my top 3 favorite Christmas songs were. And honestly, man, I am not a Christmas person so much, so I don't have a top 3. I think when Christmas music is on, it's okay. And, you know, I mean, some of the classics are cool, and depending on who's singing them, I guess. But I don't really have a countdown of like, yo, this is like, you know, come all ye faithful or whatever, you know what I mean? Or Jingle Bells. It's just Christmas music to me, man. And then you had another one. What is one Christmas gift you remember as a kid that you absolutely loved? When I lived in Malibu and I was just starting out surfing, when I was really young, and I got a new surfboard and a wetsuit, and I was super stoked, man. Used that board. It was a blue cheer surfboard. On the bottom, it was peach colored. On the top, it was more of a yellow, but I do remember it. And that was awesome. So thanks for your questions, man. I always appreciate it, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas, you and your family. This comes from UMQ5147. I love your video. Thank you, man. Question: besides Daytona, what's the hardest Rolex watch to buy, or the one with the biggest markup? Pepsi, Kermit, Skydweller. Well, that's sort of apples and oranges, man, because you're asking me what's the hardest watch to get besides Daytona. The Daytona is very difficult to get at the AD, but it's pretty easy to get on the secondary market, just like the Pepsi, the Kermit, and the Skydweller. So I don't know what your question is because the ADs don't just mark them up. You know what I mean? You're talking about like what the markup is on the secondary market. That's what I'm assuming, or what I get from your question. So you can get anything you want on the secondary market. You just can't get them all at the AD. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, Pepsi's going to be high. The Daytona is going to be high on the secondary market. Kermit's going to be high, and so is the Skydweller. They're all over retail. As far as that goes on the secondary, but yeah. So I'm sorry, I really don't know how to answer that because I don't know what you're really asking me. I don't follow all those watches on the secondary, I guess is what I'm saying too. All right, man. Thanks for your question. Richard Morris 6365. 2025, I'm going seriously to pursue a steel Daytona Panda. What's the most I should expect to pay for a good condition, full set, no older than 5 years old, preferably a ceramic Panda? Well, you're gonna go for the 116500 or the 126500. Both ceramic. The newer one is going to set you back probably around $30,000 to $35,000, and the older reference is not going to be too far behind that, and probably in the high 20s, man. So yeah, and that's a full set, good condition. You know what I mean? But do some research, man. I don't follow with that. I don't look at the secondary on those. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm assuming it. But I don't really follow it. I just know that that's about where the prices are on those. Thanks for your question, man. Next one comes from Baron_Red. Which Breguet are you thinking about getting? Also, what do you think about the Breitling Premier B09 with silver and pistachio dials? Like I just said with the Breguet, I might get the Type 20, or it might be a Classique. Not 100% sure yet. As far as the Breitling Premier B09, it's okay. Is that the pistachio chronograph? Because if so, I mean, I just don't know the B09, the Premier B09. I'm not a huge Breitling fan, man, but but if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's a nice looking watch. You know what I mean? It's very similar aesthetically to a Patek Philippe. But yeah, so appreciate your question, man. Thank you. This next one comes from Lucho2310. Hi, Tony. Question: can you talk a bit more on what happened when you were flat broke and how you got back in good shape again? If possible, if not, it's all good, man. That's the thing. I have been up here and I've been way down here, and I've been here and then I've been way down here. It's been a kind of a wild roller coaster. You know what I mean? It's I'm not, it's things in life that happen. You know what I mean? I've always taken chances. I've always done things differently than what other people do. And they always say, if you don't take chances, then, you never know if it's going to work. And certain things that I did, that I thought was going to work didn't work out, and then next thing you know, you're like, and I don't have anything to fall back on. You know what I mean? I don't have family to support me, or, hey, let me help you. You know what I mean? I'm literally, if I'm freaking, like, if I lost my gig, my job or any of that stuff, I mean, I'm literally kind of screwed, man. You know what I mean? I don't have the whole jolly family to help me. And I wouldn't say it's all jolly, but I just don't have that. I'm just by myself, and so when things happen, that's it. I'm on my own. I'm the only one who can get myself back up, but I work really hard and I fight, you know what I mean? In the sense that I will do whatever I can to get back whatever it is that I either had, or wherever I'm at, what I need now. That's why I'm really content. I don't have to have a lot of things. Luxury items and things like that really don't mean shit to me, because I've been at the worst, the bottom, you know what I mean? So anything else is just kind of gravy, you know what I mean? That's like getting nice watches now again is really cool. But, you know, I don't know. I don't ever think of like, you know, things are going to last forever. You know, I just know what I've been through and why it's difficult. But when you are down and you are trying to get back up, you can't be down on yourself and you can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to just get up and say, fuck it. I'm going to keep going back. You know, I know there's that cliche. You just got to keep getting up every time you fall down, you know, but it's the truth. There's a reason why they're called cliches, you know? So, um, but thank you for your question, man. Appreciate it. This next one comes from HBMX1928. Al, hey, you know what? I almost wanted to do a whole video on this question, but I'll just do it. Hi, Tony. Great video. Thanks, man. Question. I know you like the pre-ceramic Submariner, but I've never heard you speak about the pre-ceramic GMT. Do you like the older Rolex GMT? Just curious. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your wife and your family and your dog. It's not, yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge vintage person, you know. I have the sort of neo vintage Rolex is about as old as I'd want to go. If I That's a 2006 2007 reference number. If I had like the 5513 going way back, I mean, I just wouldn't probably wear it. It'd probably sit in the box and I'd go, I've got a 5513 sitting in the box, you know. The reason being is that, you know, it's not that I don't like them. I think the aesthetics of some of those vintage watches look really cool, but they're not functional enough for me to wear them the way that I want to wear them, I guess. And I say that I'm not hard on my watches either. But one of the things is about the, like for instance, with the GMT Master 2 that I have, the Batgirl, you know, it's a 40 millimeter case. It wears bigger, but it's still 40 millimeter. And the 124060 Submariner is a 41 millimeter case, so it's slightly bigger, you know, and it's a maxi case too, so it just wears really big on your wrist, you know. So one of the things about the Sub is that it's a 40 millimeter, the same size as my GMT. So I put it on, and it doesn't wear big, you know what I mean? It looks cool. Now you get some of those GMTs that are older, and they do look cool, man. I'm not saying I don't like them, because I do. My neighbor has one. I can't remember what year it is, but it's a really old reference, and yet it's serviced, and it looks really cool. It's a shame that he has it, but you know, at the same time, I just don't really talk about it too much. I guess it's not something that I go on. Like there's that guy Watch Symposium who's all about that stuff. You know, he's all about the vintage stuff. And I could probably get more into it because I've had all the new watches that I've, you know what I mean? So stay tuned, I guess, you know. But thank you for your question, man. I always appreciate it. Balkan Shed. Hey, Tony, I checked prices of used Rolex watches fairly often. I check prices of used Rolex watches fairly often, and the last time I was on Bob's Watches website, I noticed price increase in some of their models. Latest model sub date is listed for over 15K and Pepsi for over 19K. They also didn't have any 124060s in stock, which is the first time I've seen that model not to be in stock in the past 2 years. I was wondering, under the impression that the prices on the used market have gone down some and the market is stabilized. Am I missing something? Am I missing something going on in the watch world? Did something happen recently and would cause the prices to go up? Thank you for answering my question. I don't know, man. I maybe it's because of, you know, maybe it's the year of the watch, the condition of the watch, that the ones that they have in stock may be more expensive than some of the other ones that they didn't have in stock. I don't know anything about the market. Well, as far as that one dude who keeps saying the market's crashed and dead, you know, it's pretty stable at the moment, you know. But you know, as far as it going up, I don't know. That might be a Bob's thing, and you know, I couldn't answer that because again, I don't follow too much on that secondary line. You know what I'm saying? So, but I appreciate your question. Thank you, man. This comes from Vahan S. Hey, man, what's happening? How are you? Happy Saturday, Tony. Happy Saturday to you. Well, it's Friday, so happy Friday. Great video as always. What are your thoughts on Panerai? Have you ever had one in your collection? Panerai are cool. I haven't owned a Panerai, and the funny thing is, I mean, Bindi, my AD, used to carry Panerai, and I went down and tried one on and just said no thanks. It was just it didn't work for me. But Fink's Jewelers in Nashville started carrying Panerai, and Jeanette, who's the manager of Fink's, sent me a text just the other night, saying, "Hey, we're carrying Panerai now." And she's like, sent me a picture, and I'm like, awesome, And she's like, "You need to expand your horizons." And I'm like, okay. It's not that I wouldn't ever own one. I tried on the Dewey, DUE or whatever it is, and I don't know. It just didn't. I don't know. I don't dislike them. They're just kind of large. They're just too big for me. You know what I mean? So thanks for your question, man. This comes from Udo Steinhauser 5661. Udo Steinhauser. Great Q&A session again. Thanks for that. Thank you, man. I would have another question for you. I saw that you are quite fond of your Rolex 14060 sub, which I totally agree with. Very nice watch indeed. I also like the current 124060, as it's the more modern watch, obviously. Not sure which one to go for. Any recommendations from you? Yeah, get the one you want. It's like, how big is your wrist? That, mine's 6.5 inch wrist. I think the 40 millimeter fits really well. Do you want something that has more of a sort of an older look to it? The new one, just like I just stated in the last question, it's a 41 millimeter. It has a maxi case. It's bigger. You keep in mind, you're going to have more power reserve, 70 hours. On this, you're going to have about 50 hours, maybe 48 hours if you're lucky. You're going to have lume that will last you. The lume on this sucks ass. I tested it when I first got it. Hit the flashlight on it, went to bed. By the time I went to bed and turned the lights out, the lume was already dead. My Timex has better lume than this, but that's just through years of, this watch is a 2006, 2007. So it's up to you, man. Try them both on and pick which one. Also, do you want a jangly, clanky bracelet, or do you want the new bracelet? You know what I mean? There's benefits to having either or, you know what I mean? You just have to figure out which one's the best for you, and the one that you like is the one for you, So thanks for your question, man. Next one comes from Yo-LG4HV. Hey, Tony, I mentioned on an earlier video that I have no buy history with my AD, but he gave me the opportunity to take home a root beer. Am I lucky, or did I just move stock? I have no buy history, and it's my first Rolex. I'm in love with my watch, and I'll wear it for the next 50 years. Just curious how I bought a GMT with 0 buy history and 9 months wait, or the root beer is that much of a not wanted buy. What's your input? Well, congratulations on that. Wear it in good health, and it really shouldn't matter. The fact that you got one is all that matters. But here's the thing. It does happen. You can go in and buy it, to all these people. Now, keep in mind, all these other YouTubers, whatever, that say that you have to have a huge spend history. A lot of that comes from YouTubers that are watch dealers that sell. So they're trying to get your business and try to steer you away from going to the AD. All this bullshit about, oh, my AD said I had to buy this much jewelry, and that's all BS, dude. I also know that my AD, Juan got a friend of mine, who wasn't a friend of mine at the time, he was just a viewer, got him a GMT Master 2 as his second Rolex. First Rolex was an Explorer, second one was a GMT Master 2. So it does happen. You probably made a good impression on them or whatever, and then they decided to allocate that watch to you. So, congratulations. But like I said, it can happen, and it does happen. Doesn't mean it's not worth anything or it's not that sought after. Keep in mind, it's a root beer. It's a nice watch, man. That's all that matters. And if you're thinking about, if you should buy it because you love it, not what you care about, if it's a hype model or not a hype model. You know what I'm saying? So just enjoy it, man. And congratulations again. This next one comes from Wes Braddock 553. Hey, Tony, question for the Q&A. What do you do with all your watch boxes? Do you stuff them in a closet somewhere, or display them, or put your actual watches in there? My Vacheron box, for example, is a piece of art, in my opinion, and deserves to be on display somewhere. But I can't see it being a bit kitschy if you have a bunch of luxury boxes on a bookshelf in your home. Follow-up question. How do you store your watches? Box, roll, etc.? Well, yeah, most of my watch boxes are in a big box in the closet, and then I've got some on a shelf. They're tucked away in bags or whatever. And my watches are stored in watch boxes. Like I have several 12 slot boxes, 10 slot boxes, 6 slot boxes. You know what I mean? So they're all in there for the most part. except for the ones that are in the bank and whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, but the Vacheron box is nice. You know what I mean? So are the AP boxes. I mean, or the Patek Philippe boxes. You know. So, but yeah, I mean, if you want to if you want to display your Vacheron box, you should, man, because it is nice. So thanks for your question, man. Josh Rodriguez. Hey Tony, what are your thoughts on the new Rolex boxes? Um, I've only seen like I don't know if it was a rendering or if it was an actual picture, but they took the crown off of it, and it looks like it wasn't finished being completed. You know what I mean? It's like they got down the assembly line and said, and they stopped the assembly line and they went on break and then came back and said these are good. You know, so but I haven't really seen them like like in depth or anything. It just looked like they're unfinished boxes. That's what I got. No crown, no coronet on the box. So no pocket on the inside. I think I'm not sure, so I couldn't really answer you too well on that because I haven't really seen them. But thanks for your question. Fabian Pradov. Hi, Tony. Question for you. How hard do you think it is to get a Rolex Yachtmaster 40 on stainless steel? Do you think is more accessible than a GMT stainless steel? Thank you. Yeah, I mean, a Yachtmaster 40 is going to be easier to get than a GMT Master for sure. I think it depends where your AD is, and what kind of relationship you have. But I would say a Yachtmaster would be easier than a GMT. But good luck if you're looking, man. Appreciate it. Why do you think the GP Laureato? This is from Michael Rimmer. Why do you think the GP Laureato gets so little attention overall? Most of the way towards an AP Royal Oak for a fraction of the price. Enjoyed the video. Cheers. Thanks, man. I don't know, man. It's when the Laureato is a great watch. I love that watch, but in a sense, it's like, why is this and why is that? No one can really answer it because there's a lot of really nice watches out there that just don't get any attention that even a lot of YouTubers talk about. That I say a lot of YouTubers. I don't watch a lot of YouTubers, but it's like, but certain watches that should get attention that don't. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, the Cartier. Like if it's a Gerald Genta, oh my God, the IWC Ingenieur. But then you got the Cartier Pasha, which is a Gerald Genta design, and it's like no one wants to touch those, but they're beautiful watches. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. I don't know. I couldn't really answer it, but thanks for your question, man. Sorrow. I own 10 watches ranging from $300 to $900. It's hard for me to get them all into the cycle. How do you do it, Tony? Wouldn't the best collection be a 3-watch, maybe a dress, a chrono, and a diver? That might be the best for you, man. If you have 10, I don't know. It's for me, I just wear multiple watches a day. You know what I mean? I'll put watch on for one thing, then I'll take it off, put another watch on. I just put them on. I don't ever put one on and just leave it on. If I'm out for the day or if I'm working or whatever, then yeah, I mean, I'll wear one watch throughout the day, but then when I get home, I'll change it up and put different watches on. So I don't know. I know I know there's a problem there sometimes because some watches just don't get the wrist time. You know what I mean? So and if you only have 3 watches, man, that just sounds boring to me. So, but to each their own, right? This next one comes from Justin R9245. Hi Tony, I was curious your thoughts on the AP Royal Oak in general. Have you ever considered or tried one on? I've been deciding between that watch and the Batgirl. I'm not talking price, more interested in discussing aesthetics, etc. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have tried on the AP. And which one? I've tried on several. The Royal Oak, and I don't know the specific one. Like I tried on one that was really super chunky, and then I tried on one, my AD, he's got one, and that was really nice. I kind of like that one, but for the most part, I'm not into hype watches like that. I don't know. I'm just not into them. I would take the Batgirl any day over an AP, but you have to get what you like, whichever one you want. Aesthetically, I think the Rolex is the Batgirl, for instance. You've got more color. You got you got more functionality. You've got 2 up to 3 time zones that you can put. You got the Cyclops Day. You got a Jubilee bracelet, or you can put it on, or it comes with the Oyster bracelet. Depending on which AP you get. I mean, it's cool. They're all right. They're not. It's just something that I don't know, if I had sort of never-ending funds or something, I might pick one up, and who knows, I might like it. But for the most part, I don't know. But I wish you the best in whatever you decide to get, man. I appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.